everybody, and welcome to another edition of the IWC Radio Podcast. It's been a while. We've missed a couple of shows due to some personal stuff happening. Chucks has been sick, first and foremost, who's here with us. He's trying to get over the whole bronchitis that's been going around. Has it been going around? I don't think it's been going around. But
it's been going around enough. Can confirm.
And Will's been here.
At least a little bit.
Quite healthy.
Yeah. And I'm me, I guess. I don't know. I've been depressed with some things, but trying to get through it. So, we're holding in there. Beans is still taking care of some family matters as well. I hope to have him on here again sometime, hopefully soon. But yeah, we're doing okay. I haven't done this in a while. There we go.
Oh,
there we are. Right into the mic there. How you guys doing? Get that out of the way first.
Good. I'm good. I think since the last time we talked, I actually met Beans at the Raw taping.
Yeah,
in Manchester.
In Manchester, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you how that was with him.
Yeah, it was okay. There was nothing of note on these shows. There never really is in the UK, but that was a fun way to spend an evening.
Okay.
And we did SmackDown the day after as well. That was if you go to SmackDown Live, pardon the pun, it seems like a lot longer of a night. Because they tape 3 shows.
God. I assume was it main event, mixed match challenge, and the actual SmackDown show itself?
No, but they don't bother with the main event anymore. On SmackDown, anyways, they did 2 matches on Raw.
What?
But yeah, when you do a SmackDown tape, and I assume it's the same in the US. I don't think it might be different.
205 Live, right.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
They do SmackDown, which seemed to be really quick. I know it's only 2 hours, but that seemed to fly by in terms of the actual taping.
Yeah, because it's only like an hour and 20 minutes for the show itself, and it's like 40 minutes of like commercials.
Pretty much, yeah. And then they sort of went straight into there was no sort of announcements either. They just went straight into 205 Live.
Huh.
And then straight into Mixed Match Challenge. Once SmackDown finished and people realised nobody knew who the hell anyone was on 205 Live,
so
people started leaving. But before that, they'd already announced that it was a dark match, obviously, but they'd already announced it would be I can't quite remember now. It was AJ Styles and The Miz in a tag team match in the dark main event. But most people kind of forgot about that and just went home.
You're like, fuck this.
We were sitting quite far back from. We were behind the announcers. If you like to SmackDown, the crowd behind them. We were kind of like a block away from where the announcers were. By the time the third show started, Mixed Match Challenge, we were 3 rows from the front.
Oh, wow.
We'd worked our way forward. But yeah, it was an enjoyable night. I say it wasn't bad, but I think they need to either make it more obvious that they're doing these other shows, or find somewhere other way of doing these tapings. Because that's the second time I've been to a UK show now, and the majority leave after SmackDown finishes, and they don't realise they got the other 2 shows to come. So
that, or they just don't care about 205 Live.
There is that, yeah.
Like,
but then I said they had this dark match, and AJ Styles hadn't been out yet. He wasn't on SmackDown itself. So anyone waiting to see him, which you'd assume the way it is now, he's kind of the biggest star. Maybe.
Yeah. They need to just do more promoting, I feel.
I think just some kind of announcement would have done, because as soon as they finished SmackDown, I think the last bit of SmackDown was Daniel Bryan celebrating and you're doing the yes chat and all that, and then that went on for a bit too long, so you knew something was happening, and they were changing the apron and what have you for 205 Live, and then the next thing the 205 Live intro started on the screen and Lucha House Party came up.
Wow.
So there was no actual sort of, right, okay, if the announcement, even if the ring announcer had come on and said, right, if you stay with us, 205 Live's next, something like that, people might have stayed. There was at one point when 205 Live had finished, we all knew, well, people who knew what was going on, we knew Mixed Match Challenge was next. And there was a group in front of me of about 5-6 people, and they all got up to start leaving. And it was only for the fact that we told them that Mixed Match Challenge was next.
They're like, right, no, we're not staying any longer. We're out. We're out of here.
But it was an eventful evening. It was good.
I was about to ask you if you had a good time. So.
Yeah, no, it's they're all expensive, these tapings. You don't do them very often, but
yeah.
And I say nothing of note ever really happens, but especially this time. It was probably one of the worst set of tapings I've been to in terms of content.
Yeah.
Literally nothing happened. And the fact we were laughing at literally nothing happened on the tapings. I don't know if you can remember 2 weeks ago.
I cannot.
It was basically the whole show was. I remember SmackDown. The whole show was around the building of the Survivor Series team. And the announcement of The Miz and Brian as co-captains. And then they did all that. That was great. And they got to SmackDown the next week and completely rewrote the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, for literally nothing that happened in the UK happened at Survivor Series.
Yeah, because they just ended up taking, like, Ruby Riott and Natty off the team anyway.
Yeah, it's okay. They rewrote everything. They must have gone back to the US. We're not doing this.
God.
So, yeah. Next year, we've got a house show in Liverpool. It's a bit closer, so it won't be as a long slog as that. That's honestly, God, that SmackDown taping felt like it was about 5 hours.
I mean, it was really... it's a lot of content for a short, span of time.
Yeah. But then, as I say, the SmackDown taping flew. We were surprised when the main event started. It was like, we looked at the clock and it was like 9:20, which is like, the taping starts at 8.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of filler on that show.
There is.
And we thought, surely there's something we've missed, but no, it was generally the main event. But yeah, it was good, and Beans is looking well as well. He's okay. He wasn't sat with us, but he was not too far away from us, so we got to see him before the show. He will be back soon.
Well, that's good. Hope to have him on again. I miss hearing him and all that. Yeah, so that was pretty much the tapings 2 weeks ago. It was just like stuff happened, and then the next week, it all got redid because pretty of the much. Whole. Well, actually, what actually happened on Survivor Series was also changed because it was supposed to be Becky and Ronda, and then Becky got it.
Well, yeah, they kind of have to rewrite it anyway after that, so I suppose.
Yeah. Should we get into the Survivor Series review stuff here?
I suppose we should, yeah.
Yeah,
I guess so.
Yeah, so that we can award the points, which I think I did kind of well on this time around.
Yeah, now...
Generally kind of what I picked, so I don't think I've done well.
When I made the predictions, I thought I left it very even.
Uh-huh.
Like, I thought they'll go right down the middle again, obviously. Which they then didn't do. But it still turned out alright. I really don't know why. So maybe I've made some mistakes here. You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. So, we kicked off the pre-show with the tag team match.
Alright, yeah.
Do you want me to go through the 20-plus people involved in this?
Oh, Christ.
My throat doesn't want you to say yes.
You don't have to.
Yeah. So Team SmackDown won. Team SmackDown is the Usos and the New Day, and that's all that matters. And Team Raw is no one that matters, in fact. So that's the way that went. The Usos were the sole survivors, if you can have such a thing. In the middle of this one of the Luchas got injured and was somehow just replaced by another one.
Callisto got replaced with Gran Metalik.
Gran Metalik.
Yeah, Gran
Yeah.
Metalik. So, I thought this was
Apparently
strange.
that's okay.
Yeah, apparently the referee allowed it. I know Graves was having a shit fit on commentary, saying you can't just freebird one of the Luchas in there. But it happened.
Well, that was the excuse that Cole was trying to give. It's the Freebird rule.
Yeah.
He said that's not what the Freebird rule is. That's when you're booked in a match, and then it can be any two of the three guys in the match, same as the New Day. Not that you can just switch in and out and make it a 3-on-2 match whenever you feel like it. No one had a good argument against that.
Yeah, yeah. They just kind of went on about it, like, oh shit, Graves is right. Let's just, sweep it under the rug.
Yeah. It did them no good anyway. They lost.
Yeah. The subbing in Gran Metalik didn't help. So.
No.
In fact, it was the only match that SmackDown won. Which.
Spoiler!
Well, yeah, sorry. But
that was another thing.
They did.
That was another thing that Graves got swept under the rug about.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'll get to that bit. So we all predicted SmackDown to win this one, I think, presumably because it has the Usos and the New Day in it, and
Raw had
no
bunch
one.
of nerds. Yeah.
Yeah. Did they call up the Lucha House Party just to fill a spot in this match?
Because
Because I kind of think they did.
You might be right.
I wouldn't be so sure, but at the same time, I wouldn't put it past them.
Like, they popped up only a couple of weeks ago for no reason, and then they're in this match, and I don't know what they're doing now. And if that is the case, why didn't they use Rhino and Heath Slater?
That was my thing.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly they were on Raw, backstage with Drake Maverick at the time, cracking jokes with Rude and Gable, but why not just call them up? You're absolutely right on that.
Yeah, I don't know. Good match though.
Are they officially Raw or are they 205 Live?
Who? Not Rhino's definitely not 205.
No. Lucha House Party.
Well, Raw is the exclusive property that owns 205 Live or whatever.
Yeah.
So they didn't do that anymore. They haven't done it for ages.
Yeah, it's true. That's very true.
Except with Drake Maverick, I guess.
Well, it doesn't count.
Damn.
That is probably the WWE line on that. So yeah, just forget about it. It doesn't count. He's a GM. He can do what he wants. Just come on.
Okay.
So yeah, I totally
Convincing argument.
Exactly. Team Raw on the main show started a bit of a streak with the women's tag match. Mickey, Nia, Tamina, Bayley, Sasha beat Naomi, Carmella, Sonya, Asuka, and Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose was the mystery partner. What a payoff that was.
I think I called that, but we didn't do a show, so it didn't count.
It's true. Doesn't. But you also called that they would win, Team Raw, and we all didn't.
Yeah, my whole thing was going to be Mandy and Sonya were gonna devolve on their team, and it's gonna just lead up to Nia and company to win. And then they pulled Ruby and Natty, as we mentioned earlier, and replaced them with Sasha and Bayley. And I was like, well, great. Now both sides are just gonna dissolve into its own little thing, and it became a coin flip, I guess, at that point.
You still nailed it. Yeah, so many changes in this match. It's
Yeah.
really real weird. There you go. Yeah, another decent match. This one had a good time, and ended with, if I remember right, just Nia Jax on her own, sole survivor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people were upset over because, again, she kind of punched the shit out of Becky Lynch's face to where, she couldn't compete. And here she is having the sole survivor spot in the Survivor Series match. Do you think that was the right call? Do you think that might have been done out of, purposefulness to play up the crowd?
Definitely in response. You got a lot of heat for that.
Yeah. She got loads of heat on the way out as well.
Yeah, and she's the number one contender. It's
going
to make sense. I don't know if she's going to be... If this is like a sustained push, or if it's just being built up for... I guess it's TLC. And then it'll be dropped. Because, she really should be dropped. But,
well, you'd like to think they're going to make sure... Now, so there's Becky Nia scenario, but this is WWE, so...
Different brands. This was the one night a year. I think you know.
I should know this, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
We're Raw and SmackDown go head-to-head.
Exactly. Head-to-head competition. So this was the point at the end of this match when Cole announced that Team Raw was 1-0 up. And Graves said, I think you'll find SmackDown won on the pre-show. And Cole said, yeah, doesn't count. On the main show, Team Raw's 1-0 up.
I don't remember that.
Yeah?
Yeah, he basically said the pre-show doesn't matter.
They brought it up a couple of times throughout the night. He said, well, there was the pre-show. Yeah, pre-show doesn't count.
Christ. God damn it.
Pretty harsh.
They tried to sort of backtrack a bit later on by saying it was the main pay-per-view that counted. But they were still essentially saying that the kickoff didn't matter.
Way to just bury your own product. Like, just unbelievable. Anyway.
I'm
the only one that got a point.
You are the only one who got a point. You are leading us all by 1 point right now. See if we can turn this around.
I think we can.
Yeah, I think we can. Seth Rollins, IC champion, defeated Shinsuke Nakamura in head-to-head competition. This is alright. This also went nearly 22 minutes. And was a match I wouldn't mind seeing again one day.
Yeah.
Nakamura looked a bit more like he felt like working.
Yeah.
Usual.
A lot of false finishes in this one, I thought. A lot of near falls, 2 counts. It was a pretty good match, for sure. It's a shame Nakamura didn't get the victory because they're really not doing anything with him at the moment. So, yeah, aside from that, I think you're right. I think it's, a decent match, I thought. And I wouldn't mind seeing them again.
But unfortunately, this was the one night a year.
Yeah.
It can never happen again, at least not for another year. It's disappointing, that, isn't it? If only there was like a major event every year, sometime in the spring would be good, where both brands come together to put on the best possible matches.
Oh, you mean on the draft show?
Sure. Sure, why the hell not?
Draftomania, they can call it.
Draftomania, sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Draft.
Free to new subscribers.
Yes.
Streaming live.
Streaming
on the
live.
WWE Network.
Not from the UK though.
No. That'd be
That's
silly.
too important for us.
It's only an 8-hour flight,
Yeah.
God.
There's no reason why not. I don't know if we talked about it. Did you hear that Triple H said that the reason they haven't come back to the UK for a pay-per-view is because the SummerSlam show didn't do well?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about it, and that was like 20-some years ago. And
Did we also mention that was like their biggest attendance of all time for a long time?
Yeah, I think we did.
Okay.
And how basically Triple H is full of shit.
Okay. Yeah, so that did. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
That happened.
Definitely hit on that point. Then that's what I was getting at.
Gotcha.
Okay. Speaking of full of shit, this was the point of the show where we went to the whole, that whole gallery of foreign language announcers, Sean King and the like. Love those guys. And then as we come back to the ring for the AOP bar match, there's Enzo Amore on the far side, standing on a chair, doing his catchphrase, and then kind of like tripping over as he gets pulled out. It was weird.
Man, these super fans are just out of control.
Yeah.
They gotta tone it down. They can't make it about themselves. Yeah, no, this was weird. Like, a lot of people spotted him out, I think, during
the last one. He was in like a big hoodie, and he had all his hair everywhere. It wasn't did he have like a wig on?
No.
No, there was like this hair coming out of the thing.
I think that was his own hair, yeah.
That was, well, hard to tell. But yeah, he wasn't he's not a guy that can blend in easily.
No.
That Enzo.
No, this was... I kind of felt bad for the tag teams, and somebody on Twitter said that they should have had Cesaro go in there and tear Enzo apart like a beach ball.
Yeah. I don't know that anyone cared about this match anyway.
No.
The best thing he could have done is draw
Well,
some attention to it.
yeah, people didn't care heading into this. They definitely didn't care because of the whole Enzo event, which kind of just marred the match itself. Yeah,
he was also on a plane recently. We haven't talked about the plane incident.
No, we've not. Yeah, he was kicked off from it.
Yeah, he was kicked off, and there's video of a guy asking him, "How you doing?" Which he no-sells for a second, and then kind of like glances around with a sneaky little kind of grin. He seemed to take it quite well as he left the plane. And then as he stood up on the chair here at Survivor Series, he had a T-shirt printed.
How you doing?
No, I'm doing great. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in that same font. I'm doing great.
Weird. Huh.
He did tweet after getting thrown out of the Staples Center as well.
Yeah, still the greatest one in the room.
No, the tweet I saw was apparently you can't vape in the Staples Center either.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it was quite funny.
That's kind of funny, yeah.
That's pretty good.
So yeah, the Staples Center kicked him out. Not allowed to return. Apparently, he's like banned from that arena, like for life. On the show, apparently there was a poster that somebody managed to get that just simply said "no re-entry" with a picture of his face and his actual shoot name on it. There it is. On the screen there. Yeah. Banned.
So that was re-entry to that show?
I think so, yeah.
Another...
Or no.
I assume that was for Raw the next day.
Yeah, that was Raw. But then it was Raw the next day,
yeah.
Okay.
As Brian the Guppy on Twitter pointed out. Yep, there we are.
Yeah, because they were in the same place, weren't they, 4 nights, so... I think they expected him to come back.
I forgot to keep his signature. Remember, like the DMV was trying to get him to change his signature.
Oh,
yeah. He draws like the E and the A, like a Pinor. The E is like the balls, and then there's the A with the line for the A where the
gotcha.
Yeah.
And it's quite obvious what he's going for, and they said, like on renewal of his driver's license or something, that this isn't okay. And he's like, well, I've been signing my name like this for 20 years. No, this is how it goes. Not changing it. And never heard what happened with that.
AOP won the match, by the way, because
they did, off a distraction.
Yeah, Big Show goozling Drake Maverick, and then Drake Maverick looking like he fucking either pissed himself or he just like cummed his pants or something. Because he's into choking. He has a secret choking fetish or something.
Do you think that could be like his excuse? he gets so embarrassed with all the pee jokes. He's actually, I that wasn't pee, all right. I have a choking fetish. I came all in my pants.
Honestly, that'd be more respectable.
Yeah, exactly.
Would it?
I think it would be. I think it would be.
Oh, my lungs are not prepared for this. It's gonna be a long night.
Yeah,
So-
I didn't care for it, but I'm sure it's one of those things that Vince was just cackling over in laughter.
Oh, yeah.
But no one else was. It didn't get a great reaction on the night, and it didn't the night after. There was some AOPP chants, but not
Yeah.
huge. About the same level as Sparkle Crotch got over that time. I actually quite liked. Well, I didn't, because they did that spot on the Raw with him in catering, and everyone saying, "Hey, don't get pissed," and that kind of stuff. Not very funny. And then he said, "Right, you're in trouble." I was, that's a good one. Like that one. You're in trouble.
Yeah, I like that.
Unfortunately, they had Chad Gable go, "Ha, you're in."
Yeah.
Can't be salty. No salty. Sure.
That's like a total frat boy thing. That
Yeah.
one of them would do, yeah. My favorite part was how, Bobby Roode said something about, like, where's the beef? And then Maverick just, like, pointed at his plate. Like, it's right there.
Yeah.
That was
There's like
pretty
a
good.
tiny bit of beef on it.
Yeah.
Tiny.
That was the only thing that I enjoyed from that segment, but yeah.
I don't know if that segment would have been so easy to do if it was the other thing.
Oh, God.
I don't know how many
two.
ejaculate puns you can make.
Or that, yeah.
Oh, no, I wasn't. Yeah. I mean, that'd be different,
It
I
would be.
suppose, if he just shit himself.
Yeah. And I'm sure Vince would still laugh at that.
He would. He'd love that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we all got a point for the AOP prediction there. And also, me and Chuck's got a point for the Seth Rollins match.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, well. We are rolling along.
Yeah, we
Did you
are.
see that MMA fighter who pooed himself not too long ago, a year or two back?
No, I have not.
No? Well, that's a good video. You should check
I've
it out.
seen it on Twitter. Yeah.
I think he was like choked out or something, and he ended up just dropping
Losing his bowels.
deuce, voiding his
Dude.
bowels.
No, I've not seen
Embarrassing.
that. Yeah, I bet it was.
So this is the point of the show where I figured things definitely turn around now. We get, the next match, okay, is the Cruiserweight match, but then SmackDown has to take over again. Start getting their wins back. We got the heat. Now it's time for the comeback. Apparently not. So, Buddy Murphy, this is kind of our intermission of the whole SmackDown versus Raw thing.
Yeah, I asked this during the show, I was tweeting during the show, where this whole battle of brand supremacy, where did 205 Live stand on this?
Because the roster is owned by Raw, but they film on Tuesday nights.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Are they,
Loyalty.
are they still owned by Raw? I don't know, I'm doubtful of that situation.
Well, I mean, they're the purple brand, I guess, so that on the colour spectrum puts them right in the middle. I don't know.
So what, you saying the Switzerland thing?
Yeah, I think they're just neutral for this whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because, I mean, even the pre-show doesn't count, what chance does 205 Live have?
Well, I mean, I don't even want to confuse matches and bring NXT into it, but...
No. They're yellow, that's not even...
That's a good point, though. I think they're just glad they weren't on the pre-show. Because, as Michael Cole pointed out, apparently, the pre-show doesn't matter.
And if they were, SmackDown would have had that one win.
That's true. That's very true. Maybe that's why they swapped them out.
Mm.
Good match, though, I thought, anyway.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
They got only 12 minutes. I felt longer than that, but there was many moves in here.
Yeah, this was another one that was kind of you kind of didn't know if Ali was going to take it, from like a fluke roll up or something like that. But no, Murphy ended up retaining. Because they just put the belt on him, I believe, right?
Yeah, when they were in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to keep it on for a little while longer.
Yeah, I thought so.
I think you're right. But I think both guys did well to show that they are worth paying attention to next time.
Oh, yeah.
They got the crowd over when they did that C4 off the announce table. They got the crowd into it. It seemed to be typical cruiserweight reaction. Yeah, it's an intermission break, whatever. They hit that move, and then it's like, oh, okay, something's going on here.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see where they go from here, and if they can keep our interest next time. We all get the point for Murphy. He won it too soon to lose it here. Then the important matches, if you have nothing else to say about cruiserweights.
No,
go ahead.
Alrighty. Team Raw. This was the first and only Survivor Series tag not to go to a sole survivor situation. Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre, and Bobby Lashley, the big guys. Not Balor and Ziggler. They whatever. Don't care about those guys. Don't need to protect them. But the big guys of Raw beat SmackDown pretty handily. 20 minutes in, it was all Raw. They eliminated Samoa Joe straight away.
Yeah, he was the first
out
one
of nowhere.
out.
Yeah, people were booing.
A lot of people were not happy about that.
Yeah.
Then SmackDown got a little comeback with Balor and Ziggler later on, but then it was three big guys just walking through him. Shane held on the longest, obviously, but he drop kicked himself out of the match in the end. Just one too many of these big risk-taking bumps and got destroyed.
A lot of I probably would have picked Raw had I known ahead of time that they were going to employ this the stipulation of Strowman can't touch Corbin, because my whole theory was going to be Strowman's probably going to attack Corbin and cost his team the match, because a long time ago he says I don't play well with others or something like that, and I do things alone. So that was my whole thing heading into this. That's why I thought SmackDown would have a chance, and I also did not incorporate the fact that Samoa Joe was going to be the first one eliminated in such a quick fashion. So, yeah, I thought they were going to put up more of a fight than that, especially considering Shane McMahon, best in the world. Come on.
Yeah, co-best in the world.
Right.
Isn't Samoa Joe local? Isn't he from LA or the LA area?
I don't know. I think it sounds right. I think.
I think that's why there was so much heat, other than it being just generally disappointing. I think it might have been because he was the hometown guy, and they took him out for presumably there's a reason, but I don't know what it is.
Orange County, California, which I don't think is that far away from Los Angeles.
I always assumed that they were pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, sure.
But I don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know that at all.
But you guys get the point. I do not.
Oh, it's in the region of Greater LA. So,
yeah.
Whatever, I guess. It's not far away. Close enough. So points all round except for you, Smoot. You've lost one. That's payback for your women's tag fluke earlier on.
It's not a fluke.
Whatever. Whatever. And then we go on to... I've just noticed here. So either someone on Wikipedia is rounding, or this is a huge coincidence. all of the times, every match, every one of the 8 matches has a 0 at the end. So we have the pre-show was 22:20. The women's match was 18:50. Rollins Nakamura was 21:50. AOPP was exactly 9 minutes. Every one of them was like bang on that 10-second, like exactly on.
That's,
Scripted.
Yeah. Just get like a stopwatch and time it yourself and see if it's correct.
Yeah, I'm not watching it again. It's a good show, but I'm not watching it again.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
So Ronda Rousey got absolutely destroyed by Charlotte Flair here in a match that I assume
Charlotte would have had the
was
win.
going to go this way. Wait, what?
Charlotte was going to have the win, but she broke out the kendo stick and just started assaulting Rousey with it.
Yeah. Schoolgirl era. You hate to see it. You got the win in the bag. You don't cost yourself with a DQ. Fortunately for us, she did, because we all predicted Ronda win, and she did win technically. So points all round. But this was pretty brutal. Don't see this very often in the women's storylines ever, maybe.
Yeah,
No,
this is something. This is uncharted territory. I feel for WWE with the women. The fact that Charlotte was like shoving refs around and allegedly fined $100,000 for that, where somebody pointed out that Lesnar only got like $500 for like assaulting a referee one time. Yeah, the beatdown was pretty brutal. At one point, I think Ronda was bleeding. Before the whole DQ, I think she got elbowed in the face by Charlotte inadvertently and just started gushing blood. So you had that, and then Ronda also took like a chair spot, which looked pretty phenomenal. I thought it was a pretty good sell job. I don't know about you guys on that, but I dug it. Any chance we see these two again at TLC?
Not TLC, no.
No, I think the Nia Jax match has to happen.
Well, that's already been announced as well.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the Rumble? You think Sue will?
Possibly.
That one could happen.
Okay.
And I'm not totally convinced that this isn't going to be the WrestleMania thing.
I think it has to be Ronda and Becky.
I would say Becky. Yeah.
That's the rumor, that they've changed plans because Becky's getting over.
Yeah.
But I don't see it. I'd like for that to happen, but I just think that they love Charlotte so much that they can't possibly do, especially if it's going to be the main event. There's talk that they don't have, without Reigns and without maybe no Lesnar and maybe, who knows who's going to be around. They don't have a star as big as Ronda Rousey on the men's side.
What if Becky comes back and they make it a triple threat?
That's what caused this whole problem in the first place. Becky having a match and them having to get Charlotte in there.
Yeah,
that's ironically true. Yeah, now that I think about it. And then, you just do that, reverse the tables, and then Becky's the man. Like, I don't think you could have. I mean, if she's good to go at around WrestleMania time, I don't think you can have her just sit on the sidelines, not competing in the match that she was originally scheduled for. But
now we've got.
You could do like
we've got a. Oh, what were you going to say?
I'm just saying you could do an angle where, Becky appointed Charlotte to do her bidding at Survivor Series, but now she's back and healthy and she's going to be the man again.
That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah.
But I think that there needs to be another match now between Ronda and Charlotte, and there has to be a match between Becky and Nia. So...
Very true.
It feels like that to me, but I guess there's a long way to go.
Fatal 4-way then.
Oh god, not again! Don't do it. Sucks. If you're gonna have to get Charlotte involved, then just do the horsewomen thing.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was thinking of. Is maybe like Charlotte and Becky somehow become buddy as like the bad.
Well, they
the bad
kind of
dudes.
have.
The bad dudes, yeah.
Yeah, they kind of did with the hug, which seemed really out of place.
I don't know. I was okay with it because I thought it was just people respecting one another. I'm not reading too much into it like everybody else is. Like, oh, Becky, shouldn't have hugged her. They're supposed to be enemies. Like, come on. At the end of the day, they're both friends. Come on. You know this. I know this. Come on.
Yeah.
Don't get lost in the sauce that WWE's giving you.
So now I'm wondering, how similar would that match have been if it was Becky still in there? Would Becky have done that same beating?
I kind of feel like she would.
Yeah, me too. Especially given how they had Charlotte scripted on SmackDown, leading to possibly the best tweet I've seen all year. And we could throw that up on the stream.
There's fucking Skype noises here.
Yeah, Skype. Damn Skype noises.
Oh, wow. Is the man here? Let me throw it up on the stream. Fan said something about how is the man going to make an appearance tonight at Becky Lynch WWE? I think I already have. Got fined $100,000 and beat the Iconics apparently.
Everything about that Charlotte segment was new Becky Lynch. She had that Steve Austin attitude.
Yeah. And
Which is...
Somebody replied, Charlotte's just a bootleg version of you right now. LOL.
Exactly. I don't know how she feels about that, but I'm kind of worried about it. This is like when someone gets over with something like a Daniel Bryan or someone gets over, and they think, okay, well, it's the chant that did it. Let's give Big Show the chant. Let's give Steph the yes chant.
Ugh.
They can have that because we don't like that guy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this gets people. Oh, right, well, let's just do that with Charlotte then. Handy that Becky's out of action for a little while, isn't it?
I'm not saying Charlotte and Rousey's out of the question, but it's definitely a bit of a concern.
The report I read early last week was that Vince apparently sees Charlotte as kind of like Undertaker of the women's division. He sees her being around for a long, long time and being the sort of go-to person. So, if that's the case, I don't myself, but apparently that's what he thinks. And we all know Vince tends to not think what everyone else thinks.
Well, they've obviously really liked Charlotte for the longest time.
Oh yeah.
Since she was in developmental, she was obviously going to be something. And well, they don't let go of those plans once they make them.
Yeah,
so what was that? Points all round.
Yeah.
And fingers crossed for the man. We need her back.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they maybe just transition what Charlotte's doing back to Becky, if they can. So
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
They must be quite optimistic about it coming back soon because they're not taking the title off her.
That's true.
So
I think they just don't. They don't really know with a concussion. It's
Well, I think that's right. I think probably don't know, but I think if it was serious, I mean they've done it before, haven't they? They've taken the title off her by now. I think
they're just waiting to see. So it's as serious as it is, and if in a couple more weeks she still can't go, then maybe they take it off her then. But no point doing it before you have to.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it's not as bad as it looked, because that black eye was brutal.
Yeah.
Which leads us to the main event. One last match, also with a last-minute change. AJ no longer the WWE champion.
Yeah, this was a lot of people thought since Becky was injured, they needed something to like draw people in, and they thought maybe putting the title on Daniel Bryan was the way to go. I don't know if this is the case or not, but I mean, that seems like apples and oranges, in my opinion. And plus, it was 1 year to the date that AJ won the title, and they kind of Jinder Mahal'd him.
Yeah.
So.
That's exactly what they did, yeah. They Jinder Mahal'd him.
Yeah.
Yeah, right before the show. So I was a little bit disappointed that we didn't get that rematch, because that was a good match last year. But this was exactly the match that I was hoping for when it was rumored for SummerSlam a few years ago. Was it 2014? Yeah, it must have been, when Bryan won the belt at WrestleMania. And he was supposed to have that squash that Cena ended up having.
Yeah.
But they did this instead, and it was great. I don't know if you agree.
I'm surprised how Bryan got a little bit of offense in. He was
quite a bit.
Well, quite a bit, but it was looking like a squash match at the beginning, where Bryan was trying to taunt him, and then he gets caught, and he goes to Suplex City. Lesnar agitates the crowd, saying "Suplex City, bitch," and they're just like booing him. I thought it was well orchestrated. I don't know. I don't know what else they could have done with this. I think they took like the proper route. The right person won the match, I feel. No offense to Bryan or anything like that, but he's just now in his new skin, if you will, as a bad person. Maybe if he established the heel character persona a little bit longer and had time to let it blossom, maybe I would have picked him over Lesnar, but I don't know. I don't know about that. I think they're still gung-ho about having Lesnar as dual sports branded champion. So I think we're on the track for that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do too. Definitely.
Maybe.
So
I think I especially like this one. When it happened, I got this rant in my head about how this was so much better than everything else on the show. I don't know if I can do it now, because I can barely breathe.
Give it a
when
try.
I was watching so many... Yeah, I can try. I'll try and go at it until my lungs give up on me. I was watching so many of these matches, especially the Cruiserweight and I guess the Rollins match, but also the tags, because of the nature of tags, so big as these were. You never need any downtime. You can always tag someone fresh in, and there's never any need for selling, basically. And with the Cruiserweights, they wanted to go all out, and with Rollins, he always does. And then there was the Charlotte match with all the kendo sticks. It was just action for 3 or 4 hours or whatever it was. And at no point did it ever matter who lost, really. There was no...
Except SmackDown.
Well, kinda, but I don't think the bar is going to suffer for losing that match, and I don't think anything's going to happen with the female Survivor Series team. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, nothing really comes from it. And this was happening on the day, and especially during the match. I didn't really care about any of the matches. And this was on the same day, Will know, that England played Croatia.
Yeah.
What a hell of a match that was. So, Smoke, there's a new international tournament that they've just made, where instead of friendly matches to warm up for a big international, World Cup or whatever, we now play specifically teams that are close to us in quality. They kind of banned the teams out, so the crap teams play the crap teams and the good teams play the good teams in pseudo-friendly matches. So there's a little league, 3 teams, and the top team at the end of this little mini tournament, like an NFL group, goes through to the playoffs, and the team at the bottom gets relegated down to the next tier down to swap with the winner of the that group. So things actually matter. And the way it worked out was so perfect that there was one game, England-Croatia. Spain had already played all of theirs. And it somehow miraculously worked out that if England won this game, we would win the group. If we lost the game, we would lose. We'd be at the bottom of the group. And Croatia, having won, would go through. If it was a draw, Spain would win. So anything could happen.
Yeah.
So when we're watching this match, obviously England fans care, Croatia fans care, even Spain fans care. Anything that happens, any goal that gets scored, matters. And for the first half, England were great but couldn't score. And then early in the second half, Croatia score. So this is drama now.
Yeah.
So it looks like even though we're the better team, we're going to lose, and it actually matters. And in the end, actually, we came back to win it 2-1, and it was a last-minute thing, and it was very lots of celebrations. You know, it's a big deal. It's fun to win stuff. I thought that's great. That's a great story. Being on the winning side of that was good fun.
What's the caveat?
Well, and then I was just comparing that to this, where early on, Brian was kind of playing a bit of a fool, like, you know, running around, and I don't know if he was trying to tire Lesnar out, but he was kind of ducking and weaving and staying away from him, and it's kind of fun. It's different. Then Lesnar pounces on him, just destroys him, beats him down, and I kind of care about that because Brian has this injury, and he took a suplex right on his head.
Oh God!
And I'm wondering, brutal. So I'm wondering, is he okay? I kind of want him to win because even though he's just turned, he's more of a babyface, and I just care more about him. But he's up against this guy that never loses, and, you know, whatever. It's impossible odds. But then he comes back into it. And suddenly this story's being told better than any other story on the show. As simple as it is. That the smaller guy, with everything against him, suddenly has a shot to bring down this big... Simple as that. And then in the end, obviously, he doesn't. They kind of go back and forth, and it's... Each one of them has time... on top, and it matters each way. And then Lesnar wins, and it's whatever. I just thought, man, I cared more about that story than any other story, even though Lesnar only did 2 moves. Even though Brian really only did a couple, like not that many more. And yet, even though Murphy and Ali did everything, there was never any point where any of the moves mattered. Because they just pop back up and do the next thing. Or go to the near fall, kick out, do the next thing. How much now...
I get what you're saying, yeah.
How much now is wrestling focused on getting Dave to break his five-star scale?
Yeah.
And how much of it is, you know, having like a Steve Austin or a The Rock, or like a The Rock, who might not necessarily be 5-star wrestlers, but they're wrestlers that you care about.
I think people are more interested in the moment rather than the long term of things. I think, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that, but
no, I think you're right.
Going off of what you said though, like I didn't want to interrupt, but like Shane McMahon tweeted after Survivor Series saying that, hey, things have got to change, like, you know, on this Tuesday's SmackDown or whatever. And Tuesday rolls around and nothing. There's no change whatsoever. It's just the same old shit. And then he ends up in a tag match with The Miz, and then like the Bryan brothers, you know, beat him up or something like that. They get the fluke roll-up victory.
The Miz, not even Shane.
Not even Shane. Just on Miz, yeah. Former WWE champion, The Miz.
Best in the world.
And best in the world, yeah. I think they're just more about the moment rather than long term.
They really are. Everyone wants a WrestleMania moment. That storylines now are built up about a WrestleMania moment.
Yeah.
I think the first time they did that was Mick Foley and Edge, and it was the first time, so it was kind of okay. It was still a bit silly, But the fact that Mick Foley said, I've been to WrestleMania, I've been champion and whatever, never had a moment, never had that memorable moment that people talk about. And it's like, okay, it's an undercard match, fine, whatever. Now it's I want to go to WrestleMania to have a moment. It's not I want to be the champion and WrestleMania's coming up, so let's do this thing. And you get it at Hell in a Cell where you have the match because you have to, because it's October, not because the feud calls for it. And then we had the Shield run out, didn't we? Because it was, who was it in there? Was it Reigns? It was Reigns in there with Strowman, wasn't it? And then Rollins and Ambrose ran out, immediately climbed the cage.
Yeah.
Why?
And then both of them, or one of them, fell along with Ziggler to the announce tables at ringside.
Yeah.
All haphazardly.
You climbed it just for a moment.
Yeah.
Not because it helps you or the guy that you're supposedly running out to help out. You just ran out to climb the cage.
Right.
This doesn't
you're
make
absolutely
sense.
Right.
And I don't care about it.
Yeah. You're absolutely right on that.
And I think that's why I'm so frustrated with wrestling these days.
Yeah.
I want to watch a soap storyline that might be a bit lame and a bit lowbrow, but something that I can follow and will have a payoff. And even if it's bad, it makes sense, and maybe the character learns something. That's all I'm asking for. 5-star match is fine, love that, but the context I think is more important than the action. There you go. There's my rant.
All right. Wow. After that, you and me, I guess, won the show with 7 correct predictions. Beans and Will.
I don't know how that happened.
I
thought for sure I gave SmackDown more wins.
I would have liked it if you had, because I would have won.
Yeah.
And Beans and Will with only 6. I think now, if the scores are correct here, it's 61 with Beans, me with 49.
Yep.
Chuck's in the lead barely by 1 at 62,
Yep.
and Will creeping up with 57.
57, exactly right. Yeah,
Okay.
That's what I got.
All right, wow. I need a few more shows like that to get into the league.
Very high scoring.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, maybe we should just do the fucking predictions off the show more often. Because we didn't have each other to possibly persuade us into picking something else. So maybe
Go point.
Yeah. There's not many news stories. There's one that I kind of want to point out with I don't know if you guys heard about James Ellsworth.
No.
Apparently, he's been sexting up a 16-year-old on Snapchat.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some 16-year-old fan accuses James Ellsworth of sending her nude photos. Yeah. Apparently, police have not been contacted yet. Ellsworth denies the allegations. But apparently there are pictures of him out there not wearing clothes. So
Right. Okay.
yeah, that was a story I think last week. Not sure. I haven't heard much about it since then. So it's definitely still something to kind of keep an ear on. I don't know if WWE is going to rehire him back after this, though.
I'm guessing not.
Yeah, even if he's scot-free, I don't.
Well,
think...
like Enzo was, and that all got dropped.
Yeah, I don't think this is something that's going to bring him back. I think his career is pretty much done in WWE, unfortunately.
I don't know. Maybe I'm old, but guys, especially sending nudes. Does anyone want to see that?
No.
James, if you're Seth Rollins, I kind of understand, maybe, but James Ellsworth. Is anyone asking for James Ellsworth's nudes?
I don't even think that 16-year-old was.
No, even. You're not even a 16-year-old. No.
Yeah, so that's something that happened. Tomorrow night, Starrcade to air on WWE Network, but only with 2 matches. Apparently,
Do more than last time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Apparently, AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe in a steel cage in an 8-women tag match with Tamina, Nia Jax, Alicia Fox, Mickie James against Dana Brooke, Ember Moon, Bayley, and Sasha Banks will be the only matches to air on the Starrcade house show. There's also going to be a special musical performance with Elias and Ric Flair and a Miz TV segment with Shinsuke Nakamura and Rey Mysterio. So there's that to look forward to tomorrow if you want to tune in.
I'm looking at the lineup here, and actually there's a third match that's being at least listed as not being dark.
Oh my god.
Which is Nakamura versus Mysterio for the US title.
Maybe that's what the Miz TV segment's going to build up for.
Yeah, could be. So dark, there's also Rollins and Ambrose in a cage. Asuka versus Charlotte. The Bar versus the New Day. McIntyre versus Balor, and Miz versus Rusev. So mostly house show kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Taking a look at some other stuff here.
I've got something here. Apparently, WWE sent out a survey.
Oh.
Late yesterday, apparently, asking what fans believed needs to be fixed in the current product.
Yeah.
One of the things asked was whether fans believe that the company focuses too much on their corporate interests. They also asked if fans feel storylines are not given enough time to develop, and if some wrestlers they deem as great aren't getting the coverage they deserve. They also question on if fans want to see wrestlers talking off the cuff, i.e. no script.
Yes.
If there aren't enough unique personalities.
Yes.
And if stars are not as compelling as they used to be.
Absolutely.
And also if current champions haven't earned their spots. Questions on the survey also asked if shows are too long.
Yeah, that too.
Basically, every internet complaint you've heard in the last 3 or 4 years.
Try 15. That's it's good that at least they're asking the question. I feel like they've got their own understandings of what the answers are going to mean.
Yeah.
Do you think storylines need to play out more? Okay, that means that Charlotte has to be the champion for 2 years instead of 1. No, you're not understanding. That's not what we meant. But yeah, like no script or less scripting and shows being too long. That's great.
I don't know if you've seen any of the stuff from the Mixed Match Challenge. That seems a lot freer and a lot less restricted.
Yeah. No,
they don't talk a great deal, but it seems like they have a lot of fun on that.
Well, there's short ones that they put on Raw and SmackDown.
No, just when you see them in the ring, you see them having a bit of fun in the ring, and it just seems it's a lot less.
Oh, the matches themselves, not the promos.
Like Natty left her cat ears out for one of her matches because she forgot to take it back, and like one of the Usos decided to wear them, going for like a tag. Like you don't see that on normal TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
It sounds daft to say, but it genuinely feels like Vince has gone home and they're just having a bit of a laugh.
There's probably a lot of truth to that.
But yeah, I mean, it's that kind of feel that you'd probably want from the rest of the show, I think.
Speaking of Mixed Match Challenge, I don't think we've addressed this, but whoever wins it gets the 30 spots for the respective Royal Rumble matches, and also a trip to anywhere in the world.
Right.
The trip, I mean, you can downplay into like a segment or whatever, and that's fine. The 30 spot, I'm not exactly a fan of.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
I think it didn't hit me until I realized that maybe they could have put like a 30 spot to somebody, whichever brand won the night would get like the 30 spot, and then they could like do like a battle royale or something to determine it.
Yeah.
And whatnot. But another point made to counteract that is that the 30 spot has never been really a popular spot for somebody to win the Rumble with.
I know it's not, but it'll always give you that sort of anticipation.
Yeah.
Of who's going to be number 30.
It doesn't mean you should just immediately, write it off as like, well, it's number 30, they're not going to win, obviously. Yeah. But, like, I don't know. The thing is now, like, number 29 is probably going to be the surprise spot of, like, okay, who's it going to be? As opposed to 30 now. So, I don't know. It's
I suppose it kind of makes sense for it to be a decent prize for the Mixed Match Challenge winner. Just some kind of point to the whole thing.
Yeah, it's just what does it say about Mixed Match Challenge as opposed to like Survivor Series, which is supposed to be like a big drawing pay-per-view, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know, and the other thing is like with everybody just being subbed out at the last minute, like AJ's now out, Braun Strowman's now out.
Yeah.
So was Strowman? Last I heard, he was undefeated.
Yes,
they're doing it like a league this time. Everyone works everyone.
Well, that whole team changed, hasn't it? Because it was him and Bliss originally.
Yeah, it was Bliss and Strowman, and then it became Strowman and Ember Moon. Now it's Ember Moon and I almost said anonymous Vacant right now.
Vacant, yeah.
Vacant.
They keep using that Brian Cage silhouette.
So if Vacant and Ember win, then surely Strowman and Alexa have a claim to those 30 spots.
You'd think so.
You'd think.
Yeah.
You'd think.
There's a bit of discussion about Alexa's condition, though. Apparently, she too might have some concussion issues.
Mm-hmm.
There's even talk that they might even give her the Raw GM spot.
I'm okay with that.
She's not possibly going to be wrestling for a long time.
That sucks, but that's a good spot for her.
Yeah.
According to Mike Johnson of PW Insider Elite, saying, quote, "The impression that I have is that she went through some medical testing while she was in Los Angeles and that there was no clear-cut indication that she was returning to the ring anytime soon. Doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. There's a lot, to the best of my knowledge, it's not a Paige situation where she's been permanently sat out, but it did seem like, okay, in 2 weeks you're going to be good to go, or in 3 weeks you're going to be good to go. Still very much up in the air. They'll probably still keep her under testing. There was some expectation backstage at Raw that when they come out of TLC, Alexa Bliss will probably end up as the general manager of Raw, which makes sense when you think about it. But given how they change ideas so quickly, I don't know about that. Definitely 100% plan. So, yeah, I was about to say, like, it's not a bad idea. She's well articulate. We've seen, the past GMs in the past be female, like Paige right now. AJ Lee back in the day. So, yeah, she could definitely pull it off if that is the route that they go with.
Yeah, wouldn't be the worst. She's not a will.
And also, speaking of injuries, Dolph Ziggler reportedly injured with a foot injury of some sort.
Really? I don't know.
Yeah, according to this is from Chuck's former boy Dave Meltzer. Foot injury may be back within a week. He's going to be evaluated on Saturday, which is today. I believe he's going to Cincinnati for Starrcade. He'll be evaluated there. There's a chance he may even be on that show if he's okay. They thought it was a break, which would have been a somewhat serious injury. He did not have a broken foot, so whatever it is, it's not that bad, and they expect him back pretty soon. So, well, there you go.
A lot of injuries.
Yeah, the injury bug's going around. Let's see here, real quick. look at Raw, and then we'll get out of here in SmackDown.
A little bit of news on just so that to show what I'm talking about. Sports company Adidas or Adidas, however you want to say it.
Yeah, Adidas. What about
Adidas.
I've taken what's the word I'm looking for? Basically they don't like the logo of Vince McMahon's new company, Alpha Entertainment. Just going back a bit, he set this company up to basically run the XFL from.
Yeah.
It's got 3 stripes on it.
Yeah, it's got 3 stripes on, which is very Adidas-like.
It really is, actually. Looking at it, I can see that they're going for an E, but that looks a lot like the Adidas stripes.
Yeah. Apparently, Adidas have reportedly filed a request with the US Patent and Trademark Office, opposing the logo registered for Alpha Entertainment.
C&D, cease and desist or whatever, probably. Yeah, considering Alpha Entertainment only has 12 tweets, I wouldn't be surprised if Adidas happens to win that claim.
Well, you'd think just for the fact that Adidas has been going for years and Alpha's, not even a year old?
And Alpha really just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It owns the XFL, and that's about it.
Yeah. Considering it has the same 3 stripes, in a way, only that if you flip them around and put like an upside down V that's italicized over it, that's pretty much the Alpha Entertainment logo.
Yeah.
So they kind of have a claim. If I was Alpha Entertainment, I would just change the weird looking structure you got there.
I don't think anyone would know what the Alpha Entertainment logo is right now, so it's probably a good time to change it before things. You'd imagine next year is probably going to be a big year for it, so in terms of the promotion and what have you for this new XFL. So they're going to do it. Probably a good time to do it.
I agree. I wholly agree.
Some news coming out of tonight, there was an NXT UK taping in Liverpool, actually, not far from me. Triple H has announced that there's going to be a new set of tapings on the 13th of January in Blackpool, where they did the first UK tournament.
Ooh.
And the night before, they're actually going to be doing the first ever Takeover UK live on the network. Which I'm not sure. I'm guessing this is going to be UK talent. But they're calling it Takeover UK. I imagine there might be 1 or 2 special guests. But yeah, this is told in the Empress Ballroom, where they did the first UK tournament about 2 years ago. 2 years ago. So yeah, this should get a good turnout there, be a good crowd, especially with it being a live network special. Should be good. Tickets on sale for that on Monday.
Well, let's say abbreviate it to like 1 hour. You can only catch 1 hour of it on the network.
He's already said it. He used the old phrase as well. NXT UK Takeover streaming live on the WWE network.
Yeah, just quickly gloss over the past weeks of shows. Yeah, not much happened. The only real major stuff that happened seemed to be on SmackDown, where Bryan pronounced the Yes Movement's over and dead. And he's a new Daniel Bryan, as he continued to refer to himself in like a third person. Interesting promo, but we'll see where it goes from there. And Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio in the main event, where Orton kind of just like took the mask of Rey Mysterio. Because he's all about like stealing identities now or some shit like that. Like he's a thief. But I do like the fact that they're still trying to act as if we've never seen Rey Mysterio without a mask before. So
it's been a long time. It's been 20 years or something, so
yeah,
give him that.
So
I wonder if he still looks like a kid.
I think he does.
He always had like such a youthful face.
There was like glimpses of his face on SmackDown near the end of the show.
I always thought it was the one thing they never did with him when his original was a rerun. So, I'm not really surprised they're doing it now. Something different, I suppose.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
Yeah. In a weird way, for sure. Also, I didn't see the first hour of SmackDown, or at least like the first half hour, at least, where Charlotte Flair just went on a tirade on the Iconics. But yeah, that seems to be about it. I don't know if there's anything you guys would like to add.
There's an interesting little Twitter exchange between Becky Lynch and Conor McGregor.
Oh boy. Oh god. Is he gonna throw a dolly at her bus? Just be like, no, I'm the man! Ah! And just vandalize
Becky
it.
basically said she basically beat him in a fight.
She's the man.
And then he basically said something about, well, we're Irish and, we're both together and what have you. And then tweeted her saying, call me when you need proper backup. And then to which she replied, which I thought was interesting. Cheers, Connor. I'm carrying 2 divisions at the moment, but you know exactly how that is.
Oh.
I hear New York is nice in the spring, though.
Interesting. Interesting. Maybe this will be the year where Connor shows up at WrestleMania, assuming he doesn't get in trouble with the law again. But supposedly he's like a big WWE fan, right?
He apparently is, yeah. He's really into it, apparently.
He seems like a cool dude, so.
You could see him fitting in really well.
Yeah, for sure.
Just the way he is.
I was going to say, can they afford him? But they probably can.
Yeah. I mean, the $1 billion deal with Fox.
Just that Saudi money as well.
The Saudi.
But if they if they do sign him, then what does that mean for their top guys? They have to start paying everyone some big money.
You think he'd maybe throw him in there with Lesnar? Maybe get like a weird MMA wrestling match with him?
I think they'd have to do that at some point. Yeah. I've seen a story that Fox aren't interested in ending the brand split. They want SmackDown to be its own thing. And they're not interested in any sort of cross promotion. So essentially SmackDown will be its own show without any mentions of Raw.
Well, there was lots of rumours about it being more sport-based.
Yeah, that too.
Well, yeah. Which, that'll be interesting to see where they go with that, because...
Maybe WWE's just going to be like, no, and Fox will be like, okay.
That's just Brocken.
I doubt it, considering how much they spent for it, but...
Well, I think that's it. I think they're going to have a lot of say.
Yeah.
In what happens, so...
For sure.
It's not like Vince to take instructions from anyone, but I think he's going to have to this time.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Also, Raw now ends at 11 p.m. No more overrun.
Yes.
Yeah, no overrun.
No overrun, no more Bonnie Button, unfortunately, sadly.
End of an era.
End of an era.
What are you going to do? You're going to need another gimmick.
That's true. I got to get the TV backstage thing up and running again. Yeah, need a new gimmick for that. Anything else?
No, that's it. We haven't mentioned Takeover.
I've not seen it. I need to go back and
watch it.
It
was good show. Wasn't one of the best, but a poor NXT show is still a good show. So.
No, that's for damn sure. Compared to the TV product that they're putting out, on their worst day, it's still their best show.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of doing something else while it was on, so my attention wasn't fully on it, but it was decent.
It's good.
Good enough show. I liked how, I can't remember which match it was, but it was set up for the War Games match, which is the main event. If you don't know, it's 2 rings, essentially. And normally the matches before the main event are just stuck to using the 1 ring. I think it was a Velveteen Dream match. I can't quite remember though. But essentially, he threw them into the other ring and started using that one. It was just a nice little touch.
I like that, yeah.
But yeah, good show. As you say, a poor show is still a good show for NXT. So
Yeah. That's good. Anything else?
I don't know. I think that's it.
No, I think that's it.
Well, we're gonna get out of here. Hopefully you'll tune in next week. Maybe we'll have Beans back. Maybe not. We'll just have to play it by ear, I guess. Yeah, assuming there's stuff to talk about, which I'm sure there will be. We've kind of had some, downtime here and there, but I'm sure there will be plenty of stuff next week. Again, I'm wondering how that Ellsworth situation is going to play out. And
there was one thing, just very quickly. Yeah. I was starting to wonder, has Renee Young ever actually met Dean Ambrose?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem like every week, Cole and Graves just grill her about all right, you're married with him. Do you have any information on this situation, Renee? And she's like, he doesn't tell me anything. I don't know what to tell you.
She seems to not know anything about the man.
Yeah,
she's married to him.
Seriously. No, seriously. She doesn't know diddly squat about Dean, it seems. Maybe next week we'll have details if Renee knows anything about Dean Ambrose.
Maybe next week Renee Young will actually meet Dean Ambrose.
That'd be great if she was the mastermind behind the angle.
Don't give them ideas.
Well, too late. Speaking of too late, that's our time. See you next week, everybody. Take care, have a good one, and we'll hopefully catch you next week. Good night.